Welcome everybody to our weekly group call for the 17th of November. Hope you've all had a fantastic weekend and a really profitable trading week behind you. Today we've got quite an extensive agenda, so let's look through that. We have got our last week's performance that we are going to review. We're also going to look at our, just one second. I had this working. Then we're going to look at our game plan performance for last week and the results that we achieved from that. And then we're also going to be looking at the game plan for the week ahead, the strategies that we're going to be using. And then followed by the new updates to the Baseline Wick Trader. So there's been some really powerful new updates done to the strategy, which you're going to find extremely useful. And then finally, we're going to look at creating a new signal chart. So this is going to show us the absolute power of wick trading. So that's going to be quite an exciting thing for us to do. Okay, let me just deactivate this camera and we'll jump straight into the last week's performance. So I'll share my screen on this one. Okay, so looking at last week's performance, in our public Discord channel, we have all the shares over there. So, thank you for sharing the results in there. We've got some good trades there. I see also that Mauricio used the Medina Wick Trader strategy, just entering some positions. So that was pretty cool. Good for sharing there. I also ran the Medina Wick Trader Automated strategy. So this was done on Sim because obviously my live account was used for the game plan trading. So those were the trades taken by the Medina Wick Trader strategy. As you can see, a lot of trades on the wicks, trading the price back towards the baseline. Even with some baseline breaks, we had some losing positions. And, that's basically how it progressed for the trading day. And it ended up on like 4.9. It actually hit the daily profit target of the 72 trades that it entered. So, I did say before we're going to dedicate a whole call to the Medina Wick Trader strategy, which we definitely will do in the near future. There's some trading there too on the Medina Wick Trader strategy by Bruce. So well done on that. Some scalping or some trades there run for a short period of time. So that's good. You got your other trades listed there from your Baseline Wick Trader Automated strategy. So those are in there. Well done for sharing. What else do we have over here? So just a lot of template shared, results shared, and that basically continued throughout the week. Okay, now going towards our game plan results. We ended off the previous week. These were the results from the previous weeks, trading from 28 to 31. So those were the results that we basically carried over from that period of time. We didn't run the game plan last week due to the US elections, but this was the previous results. And then for the week ahead, I've again summarized the results over there. So this was this week's results. So as you can see, we had a slightly less profit on the 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. and we actually had an overall loss on the 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. template this week of 587. And our NQ basically had some really good days, some slightly smaller days, and then a bigger winning day. Small, and so we basically ended on 3862 net profit on the NQ for the trading week, and the ES had a small loss too. So ending the week on a 3062 net profit, and that was trading all the game plan templates. Okay, wonderful. So that is that. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the game plan for the week ahead. Okay, so I'm going to bring that up on my screen as well. Okay, so for the game plan for the week ahead, actually before we jump into the game plan, look at the absolutely incredible signals generated by our signal charts this morning, or this evening. US 6 p.m. since the market opened. We've had, our breakout marker left behind over there, which is our orange one. The price had already moved 170 ticks upwards since that marker was left behind. And then we had another red marker left behind over here. The price has moved up 58 since then. So some really good signals on there. And obviously we've had our jaw line, which is from our trend following indicator, just showing us a very, very nice upwards trend, and then showing us those support areas holding that up. So that's just been a beautiful uptrend the whole session so far. Okay. And as I mentioned before, we've got a premier listing here on the NinjaTrader ecosystem. So we have quite a few new members that have joined us over the last week too. So welcome to you guys. No doubt you've seen our banner ad here in the NinjaTrader ecosystem. So that's definitely going to see us, increasing our community considerably over here. Okay, so let's go to the workspace for the game plan. So I've got it set up over here. And as you will see this week, what I've done is I've actually reduced the size of the contracts that the strategies are going to enter. So if we look at our game plan document itself, now, for any of you, obviously all you members trading the DTB system, you've got access to this game plan document, which is in the link of the game plan. And this is basically how it shows you to, set up the game plan for the week ahead. And you're able to, it just gives you the instructions to set it up. And important to remember, especially for the new guys, I haven't updated the setup document yet, which I am planning on doing today. But as soon as you open up NinjaTrader, you need to click on the DTB license field, and currently the license is DTB. So, each individual is going to be receiving their own shortly. But for the meantime, if you just put DTB in there and validate license, you'll be set. So go back to that game plan document. Okay, where are you? There we go. Okay, so there's our game plan document. And, continuing ahead over here, we've got the trading week ahead. So we've got, again, 4 templates trading. We're going to be trading the 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the MNQ. This one's only got a 300 take profit, 260 stop loss, and a 300 trailing drawdown. We're going to be trading the MNQ again from 9:35 till 11:20. This one's got a 400 take profit, 600 stop loss, and 400 trailing drawdown. We've got our NQ template trading from 9:35 to 11. This has got a 3,000 take profit and a 3,000 stop loss. So that can be accommodated on, a lot more funded accounts that you guys may have set up. The previous one template that I have been using, which has been extremely successful, it has been for a much larger account. So I thought to accommodate those who want to trade smaller accounts, this one will definitely be a lot more suited to that due to the, the value of the stop loss. And then we've got another ES template in there. The ES template has been very, very slow over the last few weeks. So we've just put a small take profit in there and a slightly larger stop loss just to give it, price to move. So all of these screenshots are in here, and it's showing the historical performance based on the settings that we are using in the automated strategy. So compare that to yours. There's a second one. This one looks pretty awesome for the week ahead. It's showing a very, very nice curve up there. Not a lot of trading. As you can see, it's got, 5, 8, 6, 9. There's not a considerable amount of trades being entered, but it seems to be fairly consistent. So we're going to see how that performs this week. The NQ template, again, similar thing over there. We've got a nice equity curve over there. Not a lot of trades entered. As you can see, 6, 5, 6, 4, 3, 8. Now, and this is only trading 9:35 till 11, so it's not the whole day of trading. It's just for this period of time every day. So we're going to see how this progresses. We're not going to have very huge results this week. Like remember the previous week, I was making $8,000 and $4,000 per day, respectively. But this week we're aiming for a much smaller take profit and stop loss. As I mentioned, this is more tailored to the smaller funded account programs or even personal accounts that want to just handle less risk. So that's the NQ, the ES, and the template on here is also trading 9:35 till 11:45. It hasn't traded a lot, this one at all. As you can see, it's got 22, 24, 29, 1, 6, 8, 13, 15. So it hasn't got a lot of trading days over the whole optimization period. So we might only see a few trades from this strategy this week, and then hopefully they can all be profitable. Then we could end up on a good week. And then after you've loaded all the strategies onto your chart, you've loaded the templates, then this is what you should be looking at. Now I'm going to go and deactivate mine a bit later on and activate my live account so we can trade this for the week ahead. So that's as far as the game plan goes for the week ahead. So just make sure you read the instructions over here, and then load the workspace, check the charts. I mean, the charts should be fine because they've been loaded with the correct amount of days, and then you're going to load the strategy. So the first chart, you're going to load the Baseline Wick Trader Strategy, and you're going to load this template. Then you're going to choose your account you're going to trade on, and then apply and OK. So it's as simple as that to set up the game plan. Okay, so this week's now we're going to look at the new features of the Baseline Wick Trader Strategy. So if you look at the slide earlier, we had this new feature called Pause, Resume All Linked Strategies. So that is a really, really powerful feature that we're going to quickly look at. And hopefully it can give you guys some really clear pathways ahead for the week. Okay, so I'm going to close this workspace, or I'm just going to switch over to a blank workspace like this. All right, and actually the best thing to do for this is to show it in playback. So let's actually just disconnect from this. Okay, and I'm going to open up the playback connection. And I'm going to open up a new chart. And we'll use the MNQ. Doesn't matter which chart we use here. 2020, I guess we can stay with that. Okay. So I'm going to open up this chart. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to duplicate this chart. And I'm going to put it over here. Okay, like that. And I'm going to wait for this playback to start working. So if I go data series, so this one should just work. I wonder if I need to load a few more days on there. I'm not too sure. Let's just pop that on. Generally, when you're running playback for the automated strategies, you would select a week's data before the date that you're going to be running playback. And always from a Sunday. That's just going to give the indicator the correct reset parameters to work with. Okay, so I'm going to play that and we'll just see, make sure the price is updating in the chart trader. Okay, which it is. As you can see, it's moving. That's good. All right, so we're going to go to the strategies. And I might just remove all of these for now because, as I said, I'm going to load them up later. And then we'll look at the strategy. Okay, so we go into the Baseline Wick Trader Strategy. And if we select it over there in the list, this is going to be the new feature that is linked there. So If you're using the automated strategy exactly how it was last week without this feature, you can just untick this box. It'll just continue exactly how it was before. But with this box ticked, what you're going to see is that every single strategy that is linked to, that is in the link, will be able to start and pause, at the same time. So if you have 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 strategies, all with this box ticked, then you'll be able to start and pause all of those strategies with one button on one chart. So I'm just going to activate this on like the 255, which is just the default settings. And I'm going to click on enable, apply, and OK. And, let's activate this one also, the exact same, strategy. And let's just have this as a different setting. I'm just going to put 40 in there. Okay, activate this. Oh, we want to make sure that same box is ticked. So every time you're going to be using this feature, you're going to be ticking this box. And that's if you want to specifically link the strategies, right? Okay, so we're going to do this. And you'll see, okay, so first thing I noticed, obviously the time of the day has passed since we started it. So we need to just go and adjust that. So you'll see I'll get an error message when I try to pause it now, because those orders have basically come into play. So sorry, my bad. I need to go back into the strategies. And I just need to change the time on the strategy to the time that is showing on the chart. So as you can see there, it's just past midnight as the playback shows. Okay, so we're going to look at adjusting that. So we're going to go to our strategy settings, and I'm actually going to jump in here and adjust the start time to 00 and 15 a.m. So 00:15 a.m. and I'll have to do that with the other one too. So I'm just going to do that. Copy and hang on, what was that? So it's got to be 12:05. What am I doing? Come on. 12:15 a.m. I'm going to copy that, and we are going to click on enable, apply, and OK. And I'm going to do the same thing with this strategy. I'm going to select the time in there. OK. Enable, apply, and OK. Right, so now that we've got those two strategies, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go to the strategies tab over here, and I'm going to go new strategy. So here we can basically add the strategy that we want to work with. Okay. And we're going to I'm just going to choose different numbers over here in the setting for the A and B. So this is if you're having multiple strategies trading at the same time. And in fact, you know what? Let's leave it at the same setting as the one chart, because ultimately you'll be running a strategy with specific settings like this one is running. And then you're going to use the same settings in your chartless strategies, right? Because those, you're running them on multiple accounts. So I'm going to do this, selecting the pause, resume, and then I'm going to go back to the time also here. And again, this is just for playback because we doing this at a specific time. If you do this before the week starts, you can actually put, the right time into there. Okay, so once we've done that, now an important thing to do over here too, so we can choose our, let's just first finish this part. So we're choosing our bars over here, the DTB bars, and again, you can choose your size. Now the days to load, this is quite an important thing. So if you just leave this at 5, you're probably going to have inconsistent results. And that is because the indicator is not being reset properly based on, the last Sunday that's just passed and the previous Sunday. So you always got to put in 14 days in there. So whenever you are running charts chartless, you can't select a specific range, but to include the last 2 Sundays, you have to put 14 in there, as a minimum. Okay, so anything between 14 and 20 will work fine. And, I've done the rest of the settings. Let me just reconfirm. Yeah, I've selected that. And then we're just clicking on OK. And then we're going to add a new strategy again. So I'm just adding multiple strategies over here to run chartless. So 2:55. Again, we're going to just change the time on here. Paste, and then we're going to make the days as, obviously we've got to have all our bar sizes in play. I'm going to select our days and OK. Okay, so now what we basically got here now is we've got 2 chartless strategies running, and we've got 2 on a chart. So the reason why I've included this update is because if you are running chartless strategies, you are unable to click start and pause on those strategies because, obviously there's no buttons there. So, if you don't have buttons, you can't pause the strategy or start the strategy. So what this is doing specifically, and just 1 second, I'm just going to check something. Okay. All right. So, okay, so now that we've got this running, and I'm just going to let it enter some trades. So we'll see the strategy in play, and then you'll see how, all the normal buttons are in play over there. So I'm just checking my messages in case there's anything important. Okay. So we'll just let this enter some positions. So like there's the first ones over there that have the first limit orders that have come into play. So we'll just let those work. So you'll see how the strategies are updating over there in real time. This bottom setting had a different value to these ones over here. So this strategy had slightly different settings, as you could see in the, when we set it up. So we'll just wait for this to enter a few more positions for them both to enter. As you can see now, they're both entering. Now they both settings have got positions in play. And we'll just check when this enters. Come on. Didn't want this to be so slow. Unfortunately, running playback on the strategies can be, quite time consuming generally. Okay, so again, it's only this strategy that's entered position so far. But even with those that have entered positions, what you can do over here is you can click on the button on any one of these on one of the charts, and it says pause all linked. So once you've clicked that button, every single strategy in here will be paused. And you can see I just clicked pause all linked on this chart, and you can see it also updated this chart. So it updated the strategy that was running on the chart mode, but it also is going to pause all of these strategies. So then you can continue on, trade. You can continue letting the price run. So generally what you would be using this feature for is, if you want to stop trading for the day, you've hit your profit targets and or certain, drawdown that you're comfortable with, that you can actually pause them all from here, and then they'll all continue. And then the same thing over here is you can click on the resume all linked. And as soon as you click on resume, they're all going to start trading again. So, the strategy might have taken a signal that you might not be very comfortable with while you are watching the live chart. And then you can say, you know what, I'm just going to pause the strategy here because I'm not comfortable with that specific position that was entered. And then you can resume it for the next signal. So it can work across multiple variations of settings that you have created. So whatever settings you have put together amongst your strategies and whatever settings these are, you just now got a central control to be able to use to, start and pause those strategies. I just want to get this top one to enter positions. As you can see, the bottom one is the only one that's been entering so far. So we can just see the chartless ones and the chart ones. And also, you can go and individually select to pause a strategy on a chart. So you can choose that to do on a specific trading chart if you want to pause that specific strategy. Okay, I'm just going to see. Okay, so there we go. So there's an example of all the strategies entering positions. So you can see we currently have an unrealized over there, and I'll click the start button again on the replay. And then say, for example, you now want to pause all those strategies. You will click on the pause and it's going to exit all of those chartless strategies as well as the strategies that are, on a chart. So it's just a really awesome control to have to be able to deal with those. Okay, so once you've done that, I'm not sure why these specific limit orders are here, but they can be cancelled if that happens. But generally, that's not going to happen in real time. Might just be a playback thing. So that's a pretty cool control, right? And you're able to quite easily see what status the strategy is currently in. Whether it's paused. If it's started, the green button will be, the button will be green for the start, and then you've got the highlighted button which is actively in use. So I hope you guys enjoyed this feature. It's just going to allow you guys to run multiple strategies chartless, but always make sure that you have one strategy chart open to be able to use it for the button. Now we can get very technical on this and add, multiple different, boxes here to pause and resume groups of strategies. But for now, we're just going to keep it to controlling all the strategies or none of them. But as I said, if we get enough requests, or if I get enough interest in having being able to group the strategies in batches, like say, for example, you might have 4 strategies linked to the first one, another 4 strategies linked to the second one, and then you've basically got different buttons on the charts to start and pause different groups of strategies. But, that's getting very technical. So I'm not going to, look at that at this moment. But this feature as it is, you're really able to group all of your strategies that you want running on specific trading accounts and then manage them accordingly. Cool. So I think that was pretty clear. And I will monitor the group chat over here, the group calls chat on Discord, just to see if there's any questions that might come up as we go. Just give me a sec. Let me just find that. Okay, perfect. It is there. Okay, right, so we've done that. We've done the new features for the Baseline Wick Trader strategy. Now we're going to look at something very awesome. So we're going to go and disconnect from this feed. And we are going to close this workspace. Okay. Oh, look at our signal charts, looking really, really good. I wanted to also show you very quickly some of our signal charts from last week. I wonder if I just got to reconnect to this feed. So give me a second. That's all got to update. Actually, so while that's thinking, I'm just going to check something on my side. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so these will all load now. Obviously, I did disconnect from the data feed, so it's going to just take a few seconds to reload all of the values on here. Okay, all busy calculating still. So very important, while the screen is busy loading, while the data is busy loading, just let it be so that it can just complete what it's doing. Don't go clicking on the chart anywhere until all of this stuff has actually been updated properly. And we're getting there. Wow, so we've actually just had this continuous upward trajectory. And that last breakout marker that was left behind, that red one that we left the chart over here, the price has gone up 190 ticks. So that's been pretty awesome. So looking through our signal charts very briefly, you'll see this one here is another extremely powerful one where it's got those markers left behind. And the one that I wanted to show you, and I think we built this signal chart a few days ago on the call, but have a look at this 60/60 NQ chart with the brick walls being showing. So there you got your SI indicator showing the brick walls, and an incredible rundown we had, on Friday, right? That was absolutely crazy. This incredible rundown. So a lot of guys watching charts like this, you're only going to be trading in one direction, as these signals are presenting. Okay, so let's have a look at that signal chart creation. So I'm going to just go into a new workspace. I need to reduce this and I need to increase this. Okay, so control center. And I'm going to go workspaces, and I'm just going to pop on a new one over here. Okay, so now we're going to specifically look at that new signal chart creation. So I'm going to just close off these so they don't cause any issues in the background. And this one over here too. Okay, I don't want to save them. They're already working fine. Okay, cool. So now we're going to look at the new signal chart. Goodness gracious. So let's open up let's continue with the MNQ. So we'll work on this, and what we're going to do is a 200 and a 1 flat baseline chart. We can select 3 days in here. Now you can select break at end of day on here. And this is basically going to reset the baseline according to the start of the trading day. And, it's just basically identifying where the current baseline for price is. Now, there's no absolute right and wrong answer what you do with the break at end of day over here. But what you can do is, if you untick it, what this will do is it's going to continue on. Excuse me. It's going to continue on where the baselines left off last week. Or on the last trading day. So you'll see it didn't create a new baseline over there. It created a baseline over there, and it's created a baseline over there. So that's like a continuous baseline, follow on from, every previous day. So, what makes the DTB bars absolutely powerful is that you've got guaranteed price levels. So if you had to look at this chart, for a fact that, this is the baseline of price. The price has to go up a certain value to have the next baseline. And again, the same value up to the next baseline. So you got guaranteed price levels of what the baselines are. And, as you can see over here, you will have a baseline break, back down again. You have the wicks, the price moving on the wicks, and then back to a previous baseline value, and then so on and so forth. So you're always going to have these guaranteed levels of, of price. So, that is quite unlike, any of the minute bars. Like if you got a 5-minute bar or 10-minute bar or 15 or whatever minute bar, you don't have any guaranteed price levels. And that's quite important though, as we'll see in a few minutes. So we're going to look at creating the signal chart. So, the idea behind this is to be able to trade wicks. So I firmly believe that if you are able to effectively trade wicks and predict baseline breaks with, a fair degree of accuracy, you can become very, very successful in trading in general, because, you first of all, you've got the guaranteed price level. So the price can only do one of two things. The price can either return to the baseline or form a new baseline. It can't do anything else. So it really puts the system ahead of everything else because of that certainty of price levels. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start setting up the indicators as part of the signal chart. Now, it's a good thing to know what the distances are between the baselines and where the different price levels are. So we can add a very simple tool in over here, and that is called ticks above, ticks below baseline. So if we look at this, we can add 1, 2, 3, 4. So we want to see, okay, where is 50 ticks from the baseline? Where is 100? Where is 150? And where is 201? So 200 plus 1 is where the price would need to go to form a new baseline. Okay, so now all of a sudden you've got the ability to be able to see exactly how many ticks or at what level the price is based on that specific wick. Okay, so that's the first step that we're going to do over here. And then the next thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at an indicator that we haven't spent a lot of time on, even though it's been in the tool suite for a while, and that is the breakout volume seconds. So we've all used the breakout volume quite effectively on all the different bars, but now we're actually going to use the breakout volume seconds, and we'll go through why in a moment. But what this is specifically doing is it's giving us accurate volume breakout levels on a second by second basis, evaluating a whole bunch of data. And we're able to trade this on wicks. So I designed this breakout volume second indicator to be specifically traded on wicks. And what we're going to do over here is we're going to use these seconds. So I'm going to go 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. So these are second intervals, believe it or not. Absolutely crazy. So I'm going to add that on. And what that's going to do is it's going to position itself on the last wick where that specific signal last generated. Okay. And now because we are monitoring seconds, we're actually monitoring seconds and ticks coming in. We need to have a way to be able to see what sort of volume are we receiving. Okay, so the next indicator we're going to pop on here is called the DTB candle volume multi. So if we scroll down to that, DTB candle volume multi. So over here, I wonder if I've saved a template. Let me just see if I've saved a template. No, I haven't. Okay. So over here, we are able to select our custom timeframes. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 over here. And what we're going to be doing over here is we're going to match up what the volume analysis is using in its calculations. We're going to match it up to the indicator. So we're going to go second over here, and we're going to go 1, and we're going to go second over here. And you guys might think this is crazy, but just wait till we get to the end of this and you'll see how, absolutely powerful this is. So 1, 3, we're going to go 5 over here. And again, we're going to do this over here, 1, 3, 5, 7. And we got a last field over here, which we're going to use. And we're going to use this as 9. Okay, so we're going to apply that. And when you apply that indicator, you're going to see that it's going to position itself on the far left of the chart. Okay, so we'll just wait for that to calculate. So you see that it's positioned over there. But now what we actually want to do is we want to shift this over a bit so that we can actually keep an eye on this, but also keep an eye on the wick itself. So this is where we need to go into the settings of the indicator and move the shift position. And what you can do over here is you can select the shift. So you can go 180 as the first one. And I guess you can also do bottom right, but I'm just going to keep it on this. So we've got 180, we've got 190, and we've got 200, 210, and 220. So I'm going to apply that. And then that is going to move it all to where we can see it more clearly. And while that's busy thinking, the next indicator that we're going to load is obviously the institutional support and resistance levels, because we need to know where those are. So we're going to pop on the DTB Fibonacci levels, and we're going to apply that. And then we're also going to look at adding on our standard breakout volume. So we've been using the standard breakout volume, and we're just going to have this as like a additional filter to see where the longer term values are working. So breakout volume on this one over here, I'm also going to be a bit sneaky on the values, and I'm going to go use the same values I used for seconds, but use them in minutes for this time. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. Okay, so we got that, and we got that. I just want to see this candle volume multi hasn't moved as far to the right as I expected it to. So let me just reevaluate that. And also we need to increase the size of this panel. So we'll increase the size of the text like this. But then we also need to make sure that these are positioned as close as possible to the price. So I give that a moment to recalculate. And we've got a fair amount on here, so we got to just be mindful of that with the loading. So now we've got these levels over here. So what we can do, I might just move this to 260, 250, 240, and 230, and 220. And let's just see how that positions itself. Okay, let this continue. Okay, cool. So now we've got our volume analysis over here for the periods of time that we're looking at. We also have the markers being left behind at different levels. So you'll currently see the markers left behind. You're also going to see the tick distance markers and the Fibonacci levels. So, you know, baseline wick trading is basically being able to trade the wicks, either predicting a baseline break or returning to the baseline. And the incredible thing about this, and, you know, as I mentioned, we have guaranteed price levels. You know, if you had to enter a position, whether it's a long limit order or a short limit order at 100 ticks, you basically guaranteed to either have a 100 tick stop or a 100 tick target or, vice versa. So that is, when I say guaranteed price levels, and, worst case scenario, you got a 50% chance of actually being successful if you trade specifically on the middle line. So you can't actually do that at all on a minute bar, right? I mean, if you go to a minute bar, and I'll just take off all these indicators over here. If you go to a minute bar, and even if I remove all of these just to make it very, very simple, and you choose like a 5-minute bar, there's absolutely no way that you can guarantee any price levels or any of your entries looking at, a chart like this. Whereas this, when you enter a position, you've got guaranteed price levels. So, I know a lot of you guys might be saying, I've seen lots of people make money trading the minute bars, and, they successful doing that. And I'm saying, yes, there definitely are people that are successful trading the minute bars, but they may be seeing something in the price that they may not understand, and that is still helping them become successful. Because, at the end of the day, when you're looking at a minute bar like this, you're looking at filtered data. So what do I mean by filtered data? Okay, so, to understand what filtered data means, we have to first understand what, how the exchange is basically sending data to the trading platforms or to the data centers. So, you guys can imagine the CME, is sending the price data. So every single tick that moves, it's going to have a timestamp attached, and it's going to be submitted, to the data centers. So it's just going to be a huge batch of data being sent out from the exchange. So think of the exchange like an electrical current, where it's basically got an on switch, which is 6 p.m. New York, okay, and then 5 p.m. depending on the time change. But it's basically, the exchange is sending data it's on a time switch. So at 6 p.m. New York, it starts submitting data, and it just pumps that data out to the data centers. And then at 5 p.m. New York, it switches it off. So it's like that constant flow of data being sent out. Now, the exchange is not going to be sending out 5-minute bars or 10-minute bars or 15-minute bars or 1-minute bars. Imagine if the exchange had to separate the data and send out information in minute bars. I mean, it's just impossible to do because of the sheer volume of what it has to already accomplish. So the exchange is sending out raw data from the start of the day to the end of the day, tick by tick, attaching a timestamp to it. Okay, so all of that data is being sent to data providers. Those data providers are sending that data to trading platforms. Okay, so if you are opening up a trading platform and you go to your data series and you load daily bars, okay, so you load day bars and you load, 1 day, and I'm just going to load 10 in this example. Okay. So this is basically, and I just got to adjust something over here to hide away this text. So do not plot. So this is what trading platforms are receiving. So exactly how the exchange is sending data, this is how it is being received by trading platforms. Okay, this is it. I mean, that's exactly how the exchange sends data. Like I said, it doesn't send 5-minute bars. It doesn't send 10-minute bars. It doesn't send 50 tick bars. It sends out the data from the start of the trading day to the end of the trading day, and every single tick in between that's got a timestamp. And as you'll see, every single bar is for a different day. So, as you can see, the price is going to move on a single bar the entire day to match what the exchange is producing, right? But how many customers do you think trading platforms will have if they only offered the price that was coming from the exchange and nothing else. I mean, this is exactly how the exchange is submitting data. I mean, this is it. How many customers do you think there'll be if this was the only way to see charts? They were very few, right? You're certainly not going to have any day traders. You know, if you had to take a list of 10,000 traders, you're probably going to have one of those traders who are going to be trading daily bars, right? They're going to be buying and selling based on daily bars, and they're going to have their trades open for multiple days, weeks, possibly even months. So, but very, very few people will be doing that. So what the trading platforms did, well, they said, well, you know, we can't offer, it doesn't help us just having this. So we are going to create different ways of showing the data. So we're going to create 5-minute bars. Okay. So this is what I meant by filtered data. Okay. This is not the way that the exchange is sending data. Okay. This is a way, this has now been filtered through the eyes of trading platforms, just to be able to attract traders who want to see more bars during the day and do that. Okay, and the same thing would be with any of these other options. You know, you can go to volume. You know, you can go to volume and you can do the exact same thing over there. You know, this is called filtered data because, like I said, the exchange is not sending volume bars. It's not sending specific values. It's sending the price in an absolute raw format. So a lot of people looking at, you know, minute bars or volume bars or any of those bars, they don't actually understand that this is filtered data. Okay. But, you know, then you're looking at what the exchange is doing. So the exchange is sending the same data to the banks, the hedge funds, and all the big institutions who are trading the price. So how do you think the banks and institutions are viewing the price? How do you think they are processing the price? Okay, so now imagine having, you know, a small bank, like a small investment bank it might have 100 trading servers. And as you know, at least 80% of all trading is being done by high frequency trading systems, you know, set up at banks and institutions, even on the grounds of the exchange. So you have got huge data centers of trading servers. Now, when you are sending data, when the data centers are sending data to these automated trading servers, do you think each server is going to be set up? You know, okay, we're going to set up this server with 1 minute. We're going to set up this server with 5 minutes, this one with 10 minutes, this one with 15-minute bars, this one with 500 volume bars. Or would they say, you know what, here is the raw data that is being sent by the exchange, exactly how the exchange is presenting it, work with this one type of data and evaluate the price levels based on that data. So when we are looking at minute bars, okay, we are looking at price action very, 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 very different to how the banks and institutions are looking at data. Okay, so you basically got 90% of the population looking at filtered data, and you've got 10% of the population looking at the raw data, but they account for like 90% of all trading. So which camp do you want to be in? Do you want to be in the camp where you're looking at filtered data, okay, which is completely random? I mean, literally, it's completely random. You can choose any values. Or do you want to look at raw data of price action? Okay, so this is where the DTB bars comes into full swing, because we are looking at the price action on specific price movements on candles. So there's no time based. I mean, the exchange does not consider time. The only time that the exchange has is the on switch at 6 p.m. and the off switch at 5 p.m. Other than that, it doesn't give a shit about anything between that. There's no time. It's like, it's basically non-existent. It's an electrical current of data being pushed through from 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's it. And obviously, as we saw, every bar is timestamped. So that is why looking at minute bars or anything other than price action itself, it makes absolutely no sense to be evaluating filtered data. So, when you're looking at price moving up and down a candle, that is the actual price movement that is showing support and resistance levels. And what the Fibonacci levels is doing is it's taking information from the DTB bars and it's plotting the institutional support and resistance levels. So that is why you are seeing these Fibonacci levels over here. And what these are doing is they are evaluating days, weeks, and months of data to give you the different price levels of where that support and resistance is. So like there, for example, we've just touched the 50%. And that, if we look basically at our indicator settings, if we go to our Fibonacci levels, we've got our green, which is the 240 minute Fibonacci green. Now, when it says 240 minute, that doesn't mean it's been calculated on 240 minutes of data. That is days and days of data. So, for example, the monthly Fibonacci's, that's going to be evaluating the last 12 months of data. So how much the price has gone up or down, up and down in the last 12 months. How far has it gone up? How much has it retraced? It went up to its maximum, and then it's retraced down to 75% of its maximum, or 61.8, or 51% of its maximum. It shows those levels. So the retracement is basically a very, very key important thing, because it's showing you the range of price over extended periods of time and how far the price has retraced. And then those levels are basically what the institutions work on, because they can see where price is failing. They can work their strategies and trading around those support levels. So, looking at 12 months of data, looking at 6 months of data, looking at 3 months of data, looking at 2 months or 1 month of data, for 2 weeks of data, 7 days of data, 1 day of full daily data. That's what the Fibonacci levels are evaluating. So I know you can see that it says minutes in there, but it's still calculating the days of data, and it's putting that in there. So this is what this is doing. So now I'm just going to remove all these drawing objects. So yeah, I hope you guys, appreciate the absolute power of, what it means to be looking at a bar type that is not time sensitive, it's not time consequential, and it also has guaranteed price levels. So, we know for a fact that if this price had to touch this level here, it's going to be to a new baseline. We know that if it comes back down, this is the baseline. So we've got guaranteed price levels. Like I said, you cannot have any guaranteed price levels on any bar. So, and certainly not minute bars. So, looking at this, how are you able to establish guaranteed price levels? So this is how you have the ability to understand exactly where those price levels are. Now we've broken above this 50. And, there's a good chance we could be breaking up to the next baseline. Do you know why? Because there's very, very, very little support or resistance. There's very little resistance between this 50 and the next significant level. There's very, very little resistance. So there's a very high chance that this is going to smash up to the next baseline, especially if it can hold over this level for a while. Okay, so now let's look at actually reading. So, you might be saying, well, if I want, how do I read these bars? How do I read the baseline bars or the wicks? Because I'm looking at one bar. So that's why I've introduced the second analysis. So what's happening here is every 1 second, this is updating the volume of the current bar of that time frame. Okay, now these values you're looking at here, I don't think 1, 2, 4, 8. I'm thinking there are 2 digits missing from here. So, you know, this is what NinjaTrader is giving us, but I don't think that these values that are showing on here are exactly right, because remember, you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of high frequency trading systems all over the world trading 23 hours a day. They're not sitting there entering 1 contract, 5 contracts, you know, any of that. And it's the same if you switch to NQ. So you've got very, very high frequency trading systems out there, you know, trading large amounts of volume. And so, you know, the values that you're looking at, and we haven't even considered arbitrage trading, which a lot of the banks and, you know, institutions are doing, you know, especially with their very, very high, you know, paying data fees that they pay. You know, some of the banks and institutions, or most of them, will be paying $10,000 a month just for their data, because they are getting extremely, extremely accurate and fast data, whereas we, you know, are paying like $12 a month, right? Because we like retail traders. We just take the top of the book, you know, pricing. So the values that we are seeing here, I definitely believe there's a couple of zeros missing, but that's inconsequential to what we actually want to do over here. So what we need to look at here, and a good way to be able to identify how to trade these wicks, is we can box a certain value of what we are looking at. So when you're looking at this, as you can see, it is like, it's way up the list. So, you know, all of these is second. This is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, you know, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this is 9 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 9 is 81. So that's like, it's like almost 3 minutes of data that we are looking at on this specific thing. So when you see them all green, did you see how that all switched to green over there? When this all switches to green, we can evaluate where the price is, whether it's above a breakout volume marker or below, you know, if below a breakout marker. If it's above a breakout volume marker and it's above a significant support and resistance level, we can actually enter a long entry based on that. So it's basically like a cheat code. So we are seeing what historically the price levels are showing. There was a lot of green over there. So we are seeing historically what the price levels are, but we're acting in real time to make sure that the price is still at a level where it is got a higher possibility of going up or down. So, you know, looking at one specific candle like this and looking at the volume, there's a lot less information that you have to take in. Especially, you know, if you've got your support and resistance levels by your Fibonacci indicators, you know, you've got, you know, you've got your volume analysis you're looking at, and you're looking at guaranteed price levels. You know, that is so much better than looking at a chart like this. Now, imagine the amount of information that one has to process looking at this chart. So, you know, there's you looking at this chart saying, okay, well, you know, that is like that's a doji. And, you know, this one over here, you know, this candle over here is, you know, like a hammerhead. Well, not really. This one over here is more like a hammerhead. So, okay, well, this one here is like a hammerhead. This one here is like an upside down hammerhead. This is a head and shoulders pattern. This is a, you know, a mean reversal pattern. There's like 1,000 different patterns and things that your brain has to consume looking at this chart. And at the end of the day, you are looking at a filtered chart that has got absolutely no relevance to how the exchange even sends the data. So, you know, looking at this, you are seeing the price move. Like, as you can see on that daily bar that we showed earlier, the price is moving on that daily bar up and down, up and down, up and down until it closes and it forms a new bar. Well, it's the exact same thing over here. The price is moving up and down these wicks, forming different baselines, different price levels that are guaranteed levels. So you're able to look at this and you're able to see a lot more or a lot clearer what price is doing. And then, you can also look at where the price markers are. Now, as you can see, I moved the chart. Okay. This box, unfortunately, I haven't been able to program it in to specifically stay in place to highlight, those specific values. So this is more like a, thing that you can just put on initially to see what the price is doing. But generally, it is the one at the top of the step. So that is basically the top of the step, and these are the values that you are looking at. So you can judge by these, and when these all go red, then this will be a sell opportunity because you've actually got the price below breakout volume markers. You've got the price at levels, but always be very careful when you're trading around Fibonacci levels, because very, very often they will come down just to take out some stops. That level will hold, and then it will break through. So it's very important to look at where the price is in relation to strong Fibonacci levels, and then you are able to make trading decisions based on that. So you wouldn't be trading directly into a Fibonacci level, but you certainly can trade away from it if the price is in a good location for it. So evaluating the volume bars like this. And what we also have done is we've gone into the indicators. Let me just see. We've also applied the breakout volume for the minute, right? Now, I think I just have to load a template over here for the white. Okay, for the white. I just want all of this to be white. So let me just see. Template load. I might have to create specific values for this, but I just basically wanted all of these to be white. Why is this not doing what I need it to do, man? Okay, template load. Let me just try another one over here. No, that's still not doing what I wanted to do. So maybe I didn't set up the white properly. Let's just try the crimson. See, I wanted everything to be, that is just weird. Okay, so I'm going to set this up as back to white like it was. So template, load, and go to white. And I actually wanted the color up and the color down to also be white. Okay, so like this, even white smoke is fine. I want it to be 5, and then again, we're covering the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. Okay, so we'll just let this update. And okay, so that's a lot clearer now with regards to the level. So we've got both of these levels at the same place. Okay, that's where we are. We've got both of these levels at the same place. So we've got, this is basically a point of reference. So this is showing us, okay, this is where they are going to make a change of direction or a continuation of direction from. This is the level. Now, are they first going to come take out stops? Or are they going to be pushing the price back down to the baseline? So we're evaluating our data over here, and then we're looking at, what is more likely to happen with price? Is the price likely to return to the baseline? Or are we looking at, the price forming a new baseline? So we've got our breakout markers left behind over there, and it was above the Fibonacci level. We are currently below this 50. So we got to evaluate now, okay, are we looking for a sell signal? So we're going to determine when these are all red and the price is still below, then we know that this is a sell position going back down. So, and then you can attach your ATMs to this. So whichever ATMs you are going to use, and you could even have specific ATMs in play over there. Obviously, you could select whatever trading account you're working on, but this is going to allow you to enter positions on the wicks while you are evaluating what's happening with the volume. And, you may just have to, if you want to use this box, just continue move it along the price levels of, where this box is or where these values are. So you get the concept, when these are all green, you're going to go long. When these are all red, you're going to go short. So you're acting on delayed information, but you are viewing the price in real time, and then you are, making decisions on that. So you are basically trading the wick. So, I believe if you can master wick trading itself, and it might not just be this specifically that you're looking at. You might be looking at your signal charts. So, you got your DTB bars over here, and you've got your 2020, and we will just load 3 days. You've got here again, you've got guaranteed price levels. Every single bar has a guaranteed price level of where it's going. And then you're going to your templates, and you're going to your load, and you can load up any of the signal charts. So, let's even load up the take it and run signal chart. This is one that was created. So you can look at this too, and then you can make decisions based on what the price is doing over here. And then you can determine, the move. So these baseline breaks over here, this baseline break going up, this baseline break going up, all of that is basically predicted from signal charts like this. So you are able to trade those wicks. You're able to trade those wicks. You know exactly where your stops and targets need to be able to, to be at guaranteed price levels. So, you're able to do that. So trading these wicks, is an absolutely powerful thing to be able to do. And, like I said, with those guaranteed price levels, you've got such an amazing advantage ahead of you. And, even if you are just looking at where the breakout volume markers are, where the price is in relation to support and resistance, you can enter positions and trade that price down. Because remember, the price is just moving up and down, up and down, up and down on a single bar all day. Now, you can increase the size of this bar if you wanted to, but it's still going to show you the price up and down. But, you can have it as a larger bar. But at the end of the day, you're still watching price on a wick, and you're still looking at guaranteed price levels. So instead of having, a daily bar where you have, the price is moving on one wick, you can look at a chart like this where you've got those guaranteed price levels, and you can quite accurately pinpoint your entries and your exits very successfully, because there's only one of two things that can happen on this candle. Okay, there's only one of two things. The price is either going to return to the baseline, or it's going to go and form a new baseline. Okay, that's guaranteed to happen. There's nothing else that can happen on this bar. Like, there's nothing else that can happen. It can't go sideways. It can't miss a bar. It can't, do anything else. It can only do one of two things: go to a new baseline or return to the baseline. So it makes it so simple, compared to looking at a minute bars or any type of filtered bar, where you don't have a freaking clue of any guaranteed price levels. You're not even looking at price in the way that the exchanges or that the banks are looking at price. You're looking at a filtered way of looking at price. So, that's what I wanted to cover on this call. Now, I know we didn't take any trades specifically here, but based on the concept that I was looking over there, I didn't notice any completely red there, but I wasn't paying a huge amount of attention to these values. But, just based on where these volume breakout markers are left behind and where the support levels are, you can make very comfortable trades determining, direction, and also have very decent or very minimal stop losses. Because if you're trading above this, you're going to have the stops below. If you're trading below this, you're going to have the stops just above. So you're not going to have huge stop losses on this, But when the price does move in the direction that it's going, you have got all of a sudden a much larger target. So say, for example, you entered the price, over here, which is below the level, and you put your stop above. So you're looking at a 30 tick stop loss over there. And then you're looking at trading the price back to the baseline, which is an 82 tick profit target. So, I mean, the price is either going to return there. Yes, of course, if it goes there, it's going to stop you out. Now, worst case scenario, you've still got the guaranteed price level, right? You still got a guarantee that the price is either going to go there or it's going to go there. So do you want to increase your risk slightly and enter the position there for a 74 tick target with 126 stop? Well, maybe that's a bit too much for some people, right? You're going to have to enter a lot more positions with success rates to be able to accommodate, stops and targets like that. But at least for certainty that this is a guaranteed level. For an absolute guarantee, the price is either going to come here or go there. That's it. There's nothing else to think about. And it's relating to where these breakout volume markers are. And remember, we are monitoring the data as it's coming in from the exchange. I mean, literally, we are viewing the data now as it is coming from the exchange, moving up and down on one bar, because that's what it's doing. It's all the time. It's moving up and down on one bar. But the benefit of this is it's giving you guaranteed price levels. So I hope you guys see the absolute power of what that actually means. So I encourage you guys to play around with this week, and I firmly believe if you can master trading wicks and you can predict baseline breaks, and it might not be these very specific seconds that you are monitoring, you might adjust them slightly, but you need to be looking at price on wicks, because that is the only way you have got your guaranteed price levels. And then you're looking at the institutional support and resistance levels at the same time. Okay, so that is what I want to do. And for anybody who wants to load this chart up, all you have to do is to go template, load, and you will see it listed in there as single chart combo. And I've actually called it, I haven't put it on. I've put it in the script. So if you look at the script file and you go, I don't run the script on this machine because I'm creating templates. And every time I run the script by mistake, I overwrite the template that I've created, and I haven't, because I haven't saved them. So you're looking at signal chart combo Medina. Hang on. No, we're not looking at that. We're looking at Wick Trader. So signal chart combo, Wick trading 201. So that is the specific template. And I actually had it in the, I actually had it on one of the slides. So that is the actual name of the template if you want to automatically just load up this template. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So, and then, trade this. I mean, so I would definitely spend some time over, the coming days looking at trading these wicks. Make sure you've, you got your chart positioned right. You understand where your stops and targets could be related to where the guaranteed price levels are. And this is on a 201 for the MNQ or NQ. You might go to a 401. The benefit of having a 201 chart is you actually are able to trade up to 200 ticks below the baseline and also 200 ticks above the baseline, because there you got your guaranteed price levels. That wasn't the guaranteed level. It's more like over here. But you're able to trade both sides of the baseline. So price either returning or creating new baselines. And, this is what it's doing. All day, every day, it's just going to be going up and down on these wicks until it determines whether it's going to return to the baseline or not, whether it's going to break to the top baseline or a different baseline. And then you've got your volume analysis, which is evaluating the data being received by the exchange in its purest format. Sorted. Okay, I am going to leave it there. I hope that wasn't too technical, and I hope you got some information or value out of that. I definitely believe, being able to trade manually is such an important thing too. So not only relying on the automated strategies, but also having a sense of how to trade, manually, and not looking at filtered bars. I mean, why would you look at filtered bars, that have no relevance at all to the actual data coming in from the exchange? Remember, there's no time on the exchange. There's an on switch and off switch. That's it. So all the time sweets, all the time values in between mean absolutely nothing. Okay. So, looking at price on a bar where you can see the support resistance levels, you're monitoring that very specific one, and then you got those guaranteed levels. I mean, it's an absolute no-brainer. So, thank God you got the DTV system, right? Okay, guys, have a fantastic week. I'm going to post results for the game plan for the week ahead as usual. And, we're looking forward to an exciting week. I hope you guys have a great week too. And we will see you same time, same place next week. Okay. Thank you guys. Cheers.